50 years ago, Winston Churchill had his state funeral. Millions watched the ceremony on television, and millions more thronged the streets of London to pay respects to a hero, a war hero, but not just a war hero, a statesman, an iconic figure of British history. Winston Churchill was a man who had concrete convictions and never shied away from his opinions or views, unlike today's politicians who are too scared to say anything against about immigration. They're scared to talk about the European Union being a bad thing, etc. But my personal view is that if Mr. Churchill was, say if Mr. Churchill was 21 this year, I believe he would join UKIP. And say if he were, where his family is conservative, where he actually started life out as a liberal actually. But the Liberal Party, what Churchill joined the Liberal Party, is very, very different from the Liberal Democrats today. The Liberals were a Libertarian Party, and they were a progressive party as well. A far cry from the Liberal Democrats of today, who are all for a United States of Europe. But pushing that aside, Mr. Churchill's career spanned decades. He fought in the trenches with his men, and when Mr. Churchill's defining career came when he was Prime Minister, 1940 to 1945, and he rallied the nation, and he got all the parties together in the coalition. Well, there was a national coalition in the 30s, but it was bigger. In the Second World War, Labour ministers, Conservative ministers, Liberal ministers working together in the national interest. And I believe that coalition in the Second World War, all the politicians, Mr. Attlee and Mr. Beving, Mr. Churchill, all worked in the national interest. And they, unlike today's coalition, I think the Liberal Democrats, the Conservatives are just serving themselves rather than the good of the country. But Mr. Churchill really did define what being a statesman was. And hearing him on the wireless was comforting to millions of British people, and not just to British people. Mr. Churchill's famous speeches on the wireless and his chats on the wireless could be heard across Europe, because the BBC broadcasted all over Europe. And Winston Churchill's speeches aroused the people of Europe to keep that faith against Hitler. And he was a remarkable man, and we owe a lot to Mr. Churchill today, because he was a steadfast leader who didn't take no crap whatsoever from Hitler, and he was one of the few to actually rally against Hitler during the 30s. He warned us, but the politicians refused to listen.